Hey everybody, this is Robert Rivera. Normally I'm not in front of the camera. Normally I'm behind the camera. Um, but I just been tagged. Well, I've been tagged a few days ago, uh, prior to this video. By Scared Dad and New England Haunter. So thank you guys for tagging me. You guys have great channels. I really like watching your content. You get and stick up with your content. You guys are amazing. Um, so want to answer these questions of the halfway to Halloween challenge. Starting off with, are you a fan of haunted houses? Yes. Um, it was actually Universal's Halloween Horror Nights um, that got me back into haunting. Their haunted houses are if you never went, they will blow you away because of the amount of detail. If you never went to any form of haunted house in a long time, and then all of a sudden you go to one of theirs, it's like you're going onto a movie set or you're in another world. So I just love the experience that haunted houses are able to do by giving you that. So I'm definitely a fan of haunted houses. Um, and what I mean by it got me back into Halloween. So initially I was into haunting, I should say. Initially, I was into haunting back when I was in high school, and it was what got me into majoring in mechanical engineering because I was starting to make my own motorized props. I wanted to get more into learning about how to how to expand my knowledge from making better props, making more animatronics, making getting into the whole robotics side of things. Because my high school didn't have that, my middle school didn't have that, so it was just me going on YouTube trying to figure things out, trying to make stuff that I wasn't seeing on YouTube, but I could figure out on my own on how to build. Um, so long story short, I graduated university in 2023, and I was in a rough point in my life at that moment. I had some health issues, and at the same time, it was like a little bit of like, what am I gonna do from here? Kind of moment. Um, so my sister got tickets to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, and I went with her um, to in 2023 to Halloween Horror Nights, and I was just like amazed at all the detail, the way the scare actors come out, the any puppetry that you see in the haunted houses, the detail on the walls, the lighting, the whole atmosphere was just mind blowing, and it reminded me what I went to school for. It reminded me what my passion was, um, and what I really want to do. So I got back into haunting just from that experience. So I like that haunted houses could actually do that. They're very moving in terms of the atmosphere. And then if you have other intentions with the haunt, maybe you want to make a haunt yourself. It doesn't have to be a haunted house. It could be a walkthrough. It could be a yard display. Haunted houses could give you lots of ideas. Um, and a lot of cool memories. So yes, I'm a big fan of haunted houses. Second question: what's your favorite ghost story or haunted lore? Well, I've heard many ghost stories. There's a lot of lores out there. Um, I would have to. So, in terms of a ghost story, I actually have my own personal ghost story slash lore, I guess you would say. Um, Near where I live, there's a church, and my parents, when they had their store, they were asked to do some decorations for the church. I had a little downtime, so I just went to the upstairs rafters of the church where they keep all the music equipment, um, and I just started messing around with a cello. I never played the cello before, so I just wanted to see what it was like. Um, as I'm tinkering with the strings, I felt like there was something watching me. I thought maybe it was my dad just trying to do some little joke or something. And then I felt like the whole room got cold, or in a weird way, it was like if somebody took a fan, just ran it up across your arms, kind of kind of feeling. So it was very strange. Then I turned to the entrance of the room because it was just a one uh, small room with one entrance coming in and out. So I turned to that entrance because if there's somebody gonna come in, that's where they're gonna come in from. And I see this like a misty, almost like a cloud looking shape of a person, and it's just like from the chest portion up to their head. It was like if they were peeking behind the entrance, like they were peeking through to see who's in the room. And I thought it was very strange. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. And then it didn't last too long. It was like a few seconds only that this thing, this apparition, ghost, whatever you want to call it, it peeped, looked at me, and then it went up towards the ceiling, and it just it it left towards it left like if it was like if glitter was falling from the ceiling, is what it looked like when it went towards the ceiling and disappeared. And I was like, I never expected this to happen, and I never thought I was going to see something like this happen. And so I went out. I was a little, I wouldn't say scared, but just like surprised. So I went outside of the room, and I'm on a balcony. So my sister, my parents, excuse my dog's barking outside. Well, they were on the main ground, the main floor of the church. They're setting up things. I told them, "Did you see anything come up on the balcony?" And they were like, "Well, we didn't see anything except your sister saw something." My parents said that. So I asked my sister what she saw. She saw like a man, but it was like if he was made out of smoke or like like a cloud type substance. So I knew I wasn't seeing things, and it turns out when we talked to the nun that handles the church, she was saying that there was a priest that used to run the church, and he apparently died in the house just next door to the church. And they claim that he is the one that takes care of the church when nobody's around. And he likes to do things like turn on the lights at night. So they'll turn off the lights, they'll lock the doors, and they'll find that the lights are turned on um, after they locked up the whole place. So um, they told me it must been him that I saw, and it made sense because his was combed to the side, looking. It's the facial feature. You could see facial features from the way, um, from what I saw. I could tell it was a man. It wasn't a woman, um, and it just made sense. So that's like my ghost story slash lore, um, that 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 I know that I experienced. Um, so yeah, so that's for question two. So question three: do you plan on decor hunting this year? If so, what items? So I really want that leprechaun from Home Depot. Some people don't like it. Some people say it's not Halloween related. My birthday's on St. Patrick's Day, so I think it'll just make sense for me to get that prop. Um, that's just one thing. Another thing would be like some statues that Home Depot had on their reveal videos. Um, I want to get something like a Grim Reaper statue, uh, or even a Plague Doctor statue would be kind of cool to put in the garden. I think it will just add to some of my scenery in certain parts of the haunt. So those are some things I'm planning on. I'm trying to get. Um, and then I gotta still see what spirit's gonna come up with. Uh, so yeah, those are the main items that I'm really gonna be eyeing for. And then I just gotta see what else comes out. Candy corn, love it or hate it. Well, if it's crushed and it's put on top of a donut, I could eat it. By itself, I could eat maybe a few pieces, but I'm not like a big candy corn fan. So it's not like, oh, I have to have it. It's not like that. So um, I guess I'll just be like on the love it side, I guess. Um, are you big into costumes and dressing up for Halloween? If so, what's your favorite costume of all time? So I mentioned in another video. Um, I guess I didn't bring it with me. There was a I dressed up like Tarman from Return of the Living Dead. So here's the movie, and um, and if you know how Tarman is, he's kind of bony, um, kind of skull-like head, but then he's like all black and he walks kind of lanky, um, and he's like one of the first zombies, not the first, but one of the first ones that we hear in the movie actually talking and saying that he wants brains. Um, so I dressed like him in middle school, and then I got an award for the most scariest costume. And I didn't just dress like him. I moved like lanky like him, and everything. I had Don Post mask, and I had regular zombie costume that is a pretty standard zombie costume. But then I altered it with creepy cloth and clear coat, and tried to match it towards as close as I could to the Tar Man. So that has to be my most favorite costume because I won an award for it, and it was very fun to play the character. Um, I don't dress up anymore for Halloween. I think the last time I dressed up was just last year, and that was just passing out candy. But dressing up, like, I haven't had a good reason to dress up other than last year passing out candy. Um, so would I do I mind dressing up? I don't mind dressing up. It depends on just what is the occasion, what's the reason. Because of to me, I feel like I'm too big to go trick or treating, dressing up and trick or treating. I think I'm too big for that. But working for a haunt, I don't mind being a scare actor. Going to maybe a costume party, again, I don't mind as long as I'm wearing like a mask. In terms of my favorite costume, again, it has to be that one that I got the award for. But um, I do collect masks, um, so again, it's something I don't mind doing, and again, it just depends on the it just depends on the occasion. Um, let's see. So then we're going to question question 6. What is what is one activity or experience that is on your spooky bucket list this year? So it's kind of something that um, my sister and I have are starting to create like a tradition of. So every year we're going to Halloween Horror Nights. So I'm looking forward to going to that event. Um, if possible, I want to try to go to Not Scary Farm. I haven't gone to Not Scary Farm since I was 9 years old, so I want to try going to that. Um, and then if I could go to any convention between, great. That's what I want to do. Um, so that's on my bucket list for this year. Number 7, what book series or movies scream Halloween to you? Well, just like I just pointed out, Return of the Living Dead is one of those movies that I remember as a kid. Once it was October, you might somewhere, maybe late night, you might find this movie playing. Um, so this movie to me kind of screams out Halloween. Um, from personal side, but you can't go wrong with any of the Universal monsters. So I just grabbed this one. This is the Frankenstein collection, the Universal Monster collection. The other movies that also scream out Halloween to me is any movie that's like horror, but it's by Hammer. So Hammer's that British production um, company that makes movies that are kind of like that gothic horror. They do non-gothic horror as well, like some slasher stuff, but it's all very. Um, it's all their movies have a certain unique style, and usually they're mostly uh, available to watch on television during October. Usually it's like the Frankenstein ones, and their vampire movies that come out on TV late night. In terms of a series, something I haven't seen anybody really mention is Night Gallery. Um, Night Gallery is a very cool series. It's in color, so if you like the Twilight Zone, you might like Night Gallery. So that's just another series that I would say speaks or screams Halloween to me. So now going on to the next question is how do you typically spend your Halloween nights? So for a long while I was in university, Halloween nights was either studying for an exam or maybe I'll watch a couple horror movies. Recently, it's now been just in the last year. Been working on the hunt, making sure things are running. Um, this past year, it was a yard display, so it was just making sure everything was functioning, um, and just greeting trick or treaters. So that's what has been how my Halloween nights have been. Number nine, what does Halloween mean to you? So many people have said great things, great answers for this question. It's kind of hard. You can't really top the answer. For me, it's like I think Jordan from My Flipping Life said it perfectly, and I would just agree to what he said as well as I think it's just a very fun time. Um, it's especially if you're someone who's very creative. It's fantastic because there's so many ways you could go at Halloween. You could go the more creepy side. You could go more fun side. You could more go kid side. There's so many routes you could go with Halloween. It's not a holiday that is like demonic in any way. It's really just a holiday for fun, a holiday for escape um, from the whole normalcy. There's also a change in the atmosphere and the way the weather changes. That's a whole different dynamic where depending on where you go, depending if like you're on the East Coast in the Pennsylvania area or you're like um, or like you're in here in Southern California, there's still a change in the weather, um, and it's just a very cool time. Um, for me, it's usually brought a lot of joy um, because of seeing all the different animatronics, getting creative, and then getting to meet people, and so it's just a very fun time for me. Um, so that's what it means for me. And going to the number 10, which is not really a question, but it's time when I have to tag somebody else. So one of the first peoples I want to tag is Monster Core. So that's Monsta and then Core, so Kore. Um, I want to tag you guys, hear what you guys have to say about these questions. Uh, Another one I want to tag if he hasn't been tagged yet is Van Oaks Props. See what he has to say about these questions. The BL brothers, if you guys are listening, I want to hear what you guys have to say about these questions. Um, I don't know if Hollywood Haunter has been tagged yet, but if they haven't, I think they'll be cool to hear about these questions. And then Whispering Hills Haunt. I'm curious to hear what you guys have about these questions about the halfway Halloween challenge. Um, so that's it for this video. This is a very long one. I wanted to get this video out earlier, but I've been having some issues with doing that, and but finally was able to do this video. So I'm gonna end it now. Stay tuned for more videos, more content. The next video should be a fixer upper video. Um, so stay tuned for that, and see you in the next one.